I worked 6 days a week for 2 years and told myself it was temporary. I skipped every wedding invitation because the flight cost more than I could justify. I ate the same 3 meals on rotation because I'd done the math and knew exactly what I could spend without falling behind. Nobody saw the version of me who cried in a parking lot once over an amount of money that wouldn't even cover a week of rent now. I remember the exact morning it changed. Not because of a big win, because I finally stopped shaking every time my card got declined. I used to think that was the hardest part of my life. Turns out it wasn't even my story, it was my sister's. I was watching her go through all of it, the 6 days a week, the skipped weddings, the same 3 meals, the parking lot. From 3 states away, hearing about it in 10-minute phone calls, she'd end early because she said she had to save the call minutes. I offered to help more than once. She always said she was fine. I believed her, mostly because it was easier to believe her. What I actually remember from those years isn't her struggling, it's how good she got at hiding it. She'd call on my birthday every year without fail, ask about my life in detail, laugh at my jokes, and never once mention that she'd been eating the same meals for a month straight. I found that out later from someone else, almost by accident. The morning she stopped shaking at her card getting declined, I wasn't there for that either. She told me about it 2 years after it happened in passing, like it wasn't a big deal. Like it hadn't been the quiet turning point of her entire 20s. Here's what sits with me now. I spent years assuming I understood what she was going through because she never let it show as anything other than fine. And the version of the story I could tell you convincingly, wicked it, in first person like it happened to me. That's not because I'm confused about whose life it was. It's because I know it well enough to tell it as if it were mine. That's what watching someone you love struggle in silence actually does. Their story becomes something you carry too, even from 3 states away. I don't know exactly when she started letting people help her. I know it took years longer than it should have because she'd learned somewhere that needing help was a kind of failure. I think about the version of her that cried in that parking lot and how long she carried that completely alone while I was calling to talk about my own smaller stresses, having no idea. If there's one thing I'd want anyone watching this to take from it, it's this. The people who seem the most fine are sometimes the ones working hardest to seem that way. Ask again, ask a third time. Don't accept the first "I'm okay" as the whole truth, especially from the people who are best at saying it convincingly. This is a story inspired by real patterns people live through, not a specific real account told for reflective purposes. If this brought up something for you, that's worth talking through with someone you trust or someone qualified to help. Follow Money with Emma. Next time, we talk about how to actually offer help to someone who insists they don't need it.